an application that enables the development and management of systematic literature reviews. A systematic literature review tries to summarize multiple sources of information about a specific topic, to describe its main themes, integrate them, or make an informed criticism of the subject. It may be used individually, on the researcher's computer, or online for developing collaborative reviews. The software supports and records each step of the systematic review process: planning, document search, screening of useful documents for the research, information extraction, and reports generation. On Windows, you can download the installer on buhos.org. The first time the application is run, it needs to be configured. The first step is to select the language that you desire. Secondly, you can select the default configuration or a custom one. The default configuration installs an SQLite database for local use, the custom a MySQL database for distributed use. If you're not sure which one, use SQLite. If you have a Scopus development key, you can enter it. The proxy settings will be used if required by your university or work. Once the application is configured, it tries to connect to the database. If the process is successful, a confirmation message appears and a button to start populating the database is displayed. This process lasts from 10 to 30 seconds, depending on the computer. Once the connection is successful, the following screen is displayed. At the end of the process, restart the application. By default, a user with administrator permissions will receive admin as their username and password. To close the application in Linux, Control-C can be used in the console. In Windows, close the window displaying the system's logs. Next, I will describe how to use Buhos through a quick user's guide. For a local installation in Windows, just click on the application icon on the desktop or in the Start menu. If the browser shows a timeout error, just reload the page. For an installation that has just been carried out, remember that the username and password are both admin. The dashboard is the main working interface, accessed by clicking on the application name or on the My Dashboard link. Preparation of the systematic review. The systematic review is created by pressing the New Systematic Review button. A form is displayed in which the main limits of the research must be entered, including the period of years within which the search should be performed, inclusion and exclusion criteria, and the categories that the study falls under according to Cooper's taxonomy. In this example, 3 objectives were defined, permitting the creation of an analysis form for use in the systematic review. To do this, click on the Analysis Form button on the bottom of the dashboard. Each form is made up of 1 or more fields. First, indicate where the field should be located inside the form. Second, the text to be contained in the form will be included in the description. Third, indicate the code that the field will have in the database. This code may only consist of lowercase letters, numbers, and underscores. Finally, indicate the field type: short text, long text, select or multiple choice. When you have finished, click Create New Field. When the form definition is complete, generate the form by pressing the button Update Analysis Form Table. The search stage. By default, the system will initiate the search stage of the systematic review. At this stage, the searches done by the different evaluators must be recorded. The principal medium for incorporating search information is the entry of bibtex files, available in virtually all bibliographic reference systems. Some examples are EndNote, RefWorks, Zotero, and Mendeley. For demonstration purposes, in the software's installation directory, there's a manual.bib file with 6 texts, selected from the developer's customized Mendeley repository. To enter this search, click on New Search Based on Bibliographic Files in the dashboard. Before filling out the form, the source type must first be specified. The following search modalities are offered: search in an indexed database, informal search, backward snowballing, search in references contained in selected texts, and forward snowballing, Search for articles that cite already selected texts. The example given is that of an informal search. Secondly, entry of the database is requested from which the search was obtained. In the case shown, upon being obtained directly from Mendeley, the generic option applies. Thirdly, the search criterion is left blank, as the indexed database is no longer used and the description is completed. Finally, enter the manual.bib file in the last space on the form. As the system processes the search, it captures as much information as possible from the records stored in the bibtext file. Upon entering searches in dashboard and later records on the included search, the system enters information on the authors, year of publication, title, as well as the document's DOI. The bibtext example contains the abstract of each article and can be checked by pressing the corresponding button. Each search record is assigned a canonical document that corresponds to a unique reference in the system to the specific document. Consequently, if various records of the same text with the same DOI come up in different searches, the system will assign all such records to the same canonical document. The references are complete because they contain information about the authors, the year, journal, title, and abstract. Therefore, the search that was performed is valid. If this is not the case, missing information can be manually entered using the link provided on the dashboard. Once each and every search has been defined as valid or invalid, then we can proceed to the next stage, screening of titles and abstracts by an administrator. To do this, enter the dashboard clicking on the administration button. In the search management screen, all searches performed by the various users are displayed. Buhos offers the option of validating or invalidating each one. In the example, since all the searches are valid, the option to advance to the next stage is offered. The title and abstract screening stage. Once the records have been defined, they should be reviewed to confirm whether or not they are useful. To determine this, the first criterion is to see whether the article title and abstract evidence eligibility for inclusion in the study. By default, Buhos considers two users, an administrator with all the permissions to administer the system, and an analyst with an analyst username and password. The analyst is authorized to check the systematic reviews assigned to him or her. In the example, all documents were assigned to both users, the administrator and the analyst, to show the resolution of divergences. Here, the system displays the administration interface. To view, click on the Canonical Documents Assignation button. All the documents can be assigned to a user in a batch using the Assign All buttons or by assigning each document individually. In this case, the two Assign All buttons were pressed. Upon entering the user dashboard, in our example, the administrator has 6 documents to resolve. The analyst is shown that 6 documents must be decided on. Next, click on the final link to begin the evaluation process. The upper portion of the evaluation interface provides general information on the stage in question, the review objectives, and how far advanced it is. In this case, there are 6 documents that have not been decided upon. Each document pending assessment is submitted sequentially. The title and abstract of each document is shown, its reference in APA format, and how many citations it has. It is on the basis of this information that it must be decided whether the document provides enough information. In the example, the sample abstract does not provide information on systematic review software, but rather refers to a study on how reviews are conducted. Therefore, the decision should be marked No, and its status as Research on Reviews can be added as a tag. When the above referenced decision is made, the color of the frame changes and the selected tag is added. The abstract of the following text on GAPS Screener presents some of the key words that were established when the systematic review was defined. Judging from the document title and abstract, the document is clearly relevant to the research. In fact, a tag can even be added indicating that the software referred to in the document is useful for the screening stage. During the review of all the documents, the user dashboard display indicates when there are no unchecked documents left. The same review process will now be performed, but this time by the user analyst. To proceed, log out by clicking on the Turn Off link at the top of the site. Then log into the system as an analyst. By default, both the username and the password are analyst. The analyst's user's dashboard indicates that he or she has no access to the administration tools, but that there are documents awaiting decisions. In the example, the analyst points out that all the documents are important for the investigation. Once all the users have decided on the texts, the administrator must resolve whether each document should or should not proceed to the following stage. We log into the system as administrator and go to the link Unresolved Review 6 Canonical Documents. The Decision Statistics box shows 5 documents with a decision pattern of 2 affirmatives, yes, 1 document where the analyst decided that it is relevant, and another that it is not. Since there is unanimity on the 5 documents, the administrator clicks on the Include button in the corresponding row. The resolutions for the texts will have changed from No Resolution to Include. To see for which texts the discrepancy occurred, click on the View button. That text will be precisely the one that an administrator pointed out was invalid. In this instance, various alternatives exist depending on the systematic review protocol. A message can be sent to each researcher to report the discrepancy. A third researcher can be incorporated to resolve the issue, or the administrator can issue a resolution. In the example, the last option was taken by clicking on the Include Document button, leaving the decision for the subsequent stage of the full text review. When the page is uploaded again, it is stated that the status of all the canonical documents has been resolved, thus allowing you to proceed to the next stage. Prior to this, references must be generated using Crossref. The process can take several minutes. If you want to verify the references that have been made, you can check them in the search interface. Once the system resolves the Crossref references, you can advance to the next stage. Here, you can check whether there are any references cited by a number of documents already included by the administrator. The number of documents is listed in the reference data sheet as minimum number of RTR documents for reference review. By default, it is set at 2. In our example, there is no reference that meets this condition. Therefore, we can proceed to the full text review stage. The full text review. In full text review, aside from the interfaces for assigning users to documents and issuing resolutions on them, files can be assigned to each canonical document. 4 of these documents are open access, so they are in the Tutorials Resource Directory and can be massively incorporated with the Batch File Management button. To enter the files, click on the Browse button and select the 4 PDF files contained in the folder. The 4 documents have been uploaded, but are not assigned to any canonical documents. If you click on Automatically Assign to Canonical Documents, the system will try to assign them using metadata from the PDFs. The automatic assignment is quite satisfactory as it correctly assigns 3 of the 4 documents. To assign the missing document for the exact file, simply click on the selection box No Canonical Document and select the appropriate canonical document. 2 of the selected articles are not free access. For purposes of our example, they will be excluded from review as they are considered texts without access, although in a real review the authors should be contacted directly to obtain a copy. To do this, as was done in the text and title review stage, go to the Decisions per Document section and click on the Exclude button to resolve not to include them. The remaining 4 texts will be assigned manually by the administrator. To do this, go to the Canonical Document Assignation button and click on the buttons for the specific texts to make the corresponding assignments. The user dashboard will indicate that just 4 documents lack resolution and 4 still need to be analyzed. The interface of this stage shows whether or not there were specific instructions at the time of document assignation for each user, as well as whether any decisions have been made regarding the document. To decide if the document is pertinent after reading it completely, as well as to extract information from it, click on the Extract Information button. The Decision and Information Extraction interface displays a box with a PDF file. It is the same decision box as the one for the title and screening review stage, with the questions added that were defined in the custom analysis fields at the time of preparation of the systematic review. Upon completion of the process, from the dashboard, we proceed to the management of the review and accept all the studies, then advance to the final stage. Reporting. The systematic review report includes 3 online reports and 2 export types, to BibTeX and GraphML. The latter format, which stores the directed network of citations by the canonical documents, can be viewed in programs such as YEd or Gephi. There is a Prism flowchart that can be edited in a vector drawing program such as Inkscape. The data extraction report gives us the list of live codes displayed on each form, with the number of times it appears and the text where it is located. A complete breakdown of the data extracted on each document is also provided. The process report shows all decisions and resolutions of the administrator and the evaluators. For more information on Buhos, just send an email to clbustos@gmail.com. Thank you.